I've owned and run three separate brands and types of 3D printers, all FDM 3D printers, which really just means non-resin currently. It is the Ender 3 V3, which most people have used. It's really a tinkerer's love. If you want to get something to tinker with a lot and you need to upgrade out of the box and do a lot of work with, that's the one to go with. It has a lot of parts. You can make it work great. Just amazing. As well, the AD5X by Flashforge, which is a multicolor printer out of the box. However, it does not come with an enclosure out of the box. You do have to build that and buy the kit to do it as well. And then the Elegoo Centauri Carbon by obviously Elegoo, which is a fully enclosed printer. All separate price points. Ender V3 is $150, $160. That one's around $400, and that one's around $300 on sale. So all varying prices, all different drawbacks and issues. We're gonna go over those today. And I have a 3-question, just quick thing to kind of decide if I should get a printer for my uses. And the first question is, do you want to print? Do you just want to make some stuff for fun? Maybe make a few videos here or there, or do you want to tinker? Because both those things are going to give you different printers. If you really want to tinker and work on a lot of things, like I said, the Ender V3 or a lot of the Ender products by Creality are exceptional and have a lot of aftermarket parts and already 3D printed upgrades ready to put into it. So, you know, if you're a tinkerer and that is your main goal, not just printing or making money, then Ender 3v3 is an exceptional first buy. Also, if you want a tool, you need the out-of-the-box success. You kind of need it to be ready to just be set up quickly, a set procedure you have for setting them up, get them going, make money, or just make parts for things that you need it for. Either or, you're going to have to kind of decide which way you're going with that. And question number 2 is, how much babysitting can you tolerate? So even if a printer, it's one of the biggest hidden costs, is even if a printer is, you know, cheaper, like the Centauri Carbon, I have to do a lot more babysitting on that one because, well, we'll go over that in a little bit. This one, I have to do almost no babysitting. Even if I do want to check it, I can check it on my phone immediately. 4 separate colors, uses LiDAR and a bunch of other great things on it. The AD5X is just really easy. And question number 3 is, what is my product type? You know, I make statues and things to tinker with to sell. I do plan on branching into functioning parts here soon for dirt bikes and other things like that. But, you know, you really need to decide on what you want because it's all different printers at that point. If you're trying to make functioning tools out of very hard materials like PETG, ABS, or ASA, excuse me, anything like that, or even carbon fiber, you're going to need to get a printer that can actually do carbon fiber, that has an enclosure, that can keep the heat and everything in there like it's supposed to so the prints can print at good quality, or one that you can build it with. But even that doesn't hold the heat in near as well as the Centauri Carbon does. The Centauri Carbon has 3 fans to regulate the heat, one to suck out using a filter any harmful fumes that come off the ASA or ABS or even carbon fiber, one to cool the model, and one just to cool the case itself. So there's a lot of, you know, bit more control there, and you do have to tinker with it a bit more to really get the Centauri Carbon where you want it to be, to just leave it alone. But it does have a lot more finite control and more quality things to it. This doesn't have a fan on it at all. Let's get specific though. The Centauri Carbon build quality is insane. It feels like a machine, not a toy. And the cooling setup is legit. Model fan, case fan, auxiliary fan. In an enclosed unit, it performs exceptionally well. But here's the catch. Connectivity and monitoring out of the box. Yeah, it has Wi-Fi, and right here on this exceptional touchscreen, I mean, they all have really good touchscreens now, Wi-Fi. So you can send stuff from your computer, you can send stuff from your phone, to my knowledge, as long as you're on the same Wi-Fi as your home, which kind of makes monitoring on the go or checking on things kind of useless. You want mobile alerts or some kind of AI thing in the future, it doesn't matter. You can't connect it unless you're willing to jerry rig or get some kind of external setup you have to spend more money on. And it stinks because the camera on this is so much better than the one you have to pay money for on the AD5X, and this is a cheaper unit. It's just they cut corners at a weird spot that kind of makes it where this is, although it's an exceptional printer, it seems like it's designed just to be a tool for one person or a school hobby machine. And that's not bad, it's just a decision. Do you want to print or do you want to build a system before you print? That's the question as well. Here's the AD5X by Flashforge. Now, to be very clear, this one is more expensive. It has a multi-filament system. Now, I don't really use it for multi-filament prints. It poops out a lot of waste, and if you're okay with waste to do easy prints like that, that's fine. I more so build models like this where I can just print the separate colors at once, and to me, I use it more so as a time saver on things like filament changes. So I can set up 4 colors at once, do 4 different runs, bust them off, throw them in a box, and then set the next print to go and just move on. It means that I can do that in like 2 or 3 minutes rather than 8 to 9 minutes of changing things, setting it up. The enclosure kit's $40. The camera's $40. The camera's not bad, it's just not as good as Centauri Carbon, not good as quality. You have to print the enclosure itself, which is 40 hours of printing, which you got a 3D printer, so oh no. But you know, it is built well. It does save on sound a little bit. You probably need to silicone and cover some of these edges and holes to really save on heat and sound, but it does maintain a bit more heat. The touch screen's pretty solid. Here's the filament loading system. You change the colors and everything, go on the computer screen, you know, set the print you want or your phone, and then tap the color you want as long as it's loaded in there properly and the print is sliced in like PETG. You can hit the PETG, but if you don't, it won't. So it won't mess up your print that way. It has exceptional ability so far. Out of the box, I've had 2 mess ups, and it was before I put the enclosure on. It's right next to my window. The cold leaks into here consistently. It was like 15 degrees when that decided to fail, and the bed was just couldn't keep up with it. So other than that, I haven't had a single issue with this printer. Even the filament change system, the only issues I've had, I bought cheap filament. So at that point it snapped, and you know, that one's on me, not the printer itself. As well, connectivity out of the box, download an app off the internet because Android Marketplace doesn't have it. So downloaded it, works fine. Haven't had any issues with my phone or anything else since downloading it. Multi-prints, I can set up different groups of these printers, do all kinds of stuff. And just from the app itself, monitor it while I'm on the go. I can check my print while I'm at work, see where it's at, pause it if it does mess up. Like I said, I've only had to do that once. It works really good. And as well, the like where it pulls the filament is here rather than in the head. And I've noticed with the Centauri Carbon, I have a lot more problems since the head pulls it here. Or this is more so where I notice the grabbing of the filament is to pull it, but over here the grabbing of the filament's in this unit and it pushes and pulls from there rather than just in the head of the actual extruder. I hope you enjoyed this video as just one of the first introductory school videos about 3D printing. We're also going to be doing laser engraving and simple woodworking projects that you can really just do on a table with simple tools. You don't need a whole garage or anything, just a table and some small saws or something like that. If you want to follow along to really build an excellent system for especially 3D printers, you know, what printers fit your goals, what grades matter, and how to go from first print to first sell without wasting months. No fluff, just my setups, profiles, what I'd buy again, and really what I regret and wasted time on. Next video is the real money conversation, how to pick printers for a print farm, because most people scale at the wrong time. Follow along for the next one, y'all. See ya.